Welcome back, everybody, to Softball America's Big Ten Media Days, day two. And Coach, we've had some fantastic turnout so far. You're actually our eighth team, but I'm so excited to get to you because I feel like this conference is still learning. Having you in the Big Ten as now you enter your second season. Could not be any more excited to have you join us here today.
Sydney, we're really excited to be on. We appreciate the coverage that you're giving the conference and giving us the ability to highlight each of our programs. So thank you.
It is my pleasure, and it's been so fun to see how many people are tuning in every single time we go live here. And I think that just goes to show the respect around Big Ten softball that everybody is starting to see. We obviously add in three Women's College World Series contenders year after year from the West Coast. But what I love is when I was playing in the Big Ten, it was so exciting when we got to have Maryland join and then Rutgers, and now we have this East Coast presence. What is it like for you now being in your second year as the head coach at Maryland, knowing where this conference is going?
I think there's a lot of really exciting things just happening in the college athletics landscape. And so the addition of the West Coast teams, after the addition of some East Coast teams, I think is just allowing the growth in so many different areas on TV, competitively. Obviously, our conference is going to be rising up. And then just our ability to recruit all over the nation and be just more of like a nationwide brand, I think has been really helpful to a lot of schools.
And I think the biggest question that so many people ask is, how do you do it with travel? But for many who don't know, for you guys specifically as a program, you're probably the ones who will have the most miles, if anything. So I would love to know how you're preparing your women for that. But I also don't think many people realize softball teams who are in more colder weather have to travel anyways the first few weekends.
Yeah, I would say we're used to traveling. And last year we had an interesting schedule where we went out to UCLA, we played at Washington, and we played at Oregon. So all three new sites for us, just with some weather challenges. And I think while we were pretty tired and travel definitely pays a toll on you, we do a good job as a staff and with our support staff in making sure that our student athletes are resting the way that they need to. We're building in enough downtime when we get to our location, making sure that we're eating the proper meals. And so I do think that our student athletes are relatively used to the travel. But the first 7 weeks this year are definitely going to be a challenge for us.
A challenge that everyone welcomes, and it's
Yes.
exciting. And I love that you talked about those little things because they really do make a difference. And as we kind of dive deep into the team that you have this year, I first want to ask you, because I didn't have the pleasure of being on any of your games last season, of what drew you to Maryland? And that's what I love asking coaches when they come into this conference.
Yeah, so there was a personal and a professional piece for me. Originally, I'm from the Northeast. My husband is from the Northeast. We have two little kids, and so it's always been a dream of ours to get a little bit closer to their grandparents so they can spend more time with our immediate family. So that's the personal side. The professional side is I've kind of been pretty picky in the places that I've chosen to go to, and in interviews, I've gotten to understand how to get to know people and understand where departments are in the building of their programs. And at Maryland, it was apparent as soon as I stepped on campus that everybody is here for everybody's success. Our senior staff, our athletic director, sports admin, every support staff area. And then the other coaches here are so special, and they also all do their job at a very high level. So the expectation is high, but it's just so supportive and it really does feel like a family environment here.
There's nothing more special than that. And I love that you talk about family and you bring up that you have two children.
Mhm.
And I would love to know that dynamic of, are they ever coming to practice? What it's like having them in the stands on a game day?
Yeah, so my kids are a little crazy. They're 4 and 2 right now, and so it's hard to wrangle them. My husband's working on that for us during the
Love
day,
that.
but, so they don't come to practice as often as my assistant's kids just because she has 3 little kids, all under 6. So we have kids running around everywhere. But to me, it's just special because, like, they don't know, me to be at a 9 to 5 job. And I'm in and out, I'm traveling a lot. But for them, I feel like it allows them to be themselves, have their own space, not have me kind of helicopter over them. But then also understand that like what I do in my job is really important. And this job also allows me to be super present at home with my little kids. And that's something that I'm not going to be able to get back and I don't take for granted.
And it's amazing when you talk about your assistant coaches because I played in a program where it was normal to have our coaches who were women have children. And I think that says a lot too, even for your players, seeing you as a hardworking mom in whatever profession they enter someday. If that's what they choose, they can look back at you as a prime example.
Yes, we can do it. There are challenges, but we can do it.
I love that. We'll get to the softball side of that, but I love learning more about you. What you did already in your first year, you took big strides, I feel like, for Maryland and really honed in even on transfer and this freshman class. And I want to get to one of your utility players who I'm super excited that you guys brought in from Auburn, Mariah Penta.
Yeah.
And I know she's been practicing at first base for you guys. Can you talk about just the dynamic of bringing her into your program?
Yeah, Mariah is so incredibly competitive and a bit of a perfectionist. So we're working through that with her, but because of that, her like attention to detail is unbelievable. She does everything the right way. And these are some things that were really important to us last year as we kind of got started late with our program and just setting the foundation. She does all the right things. She's a good person. She's making good decisions. And softball is extremely important to her. Playing it at a high level, succeeding at a high level is important to her. So outside of her skill set, all of those things I feel like is elevating the people around her on our team as well.
And you can't ask for anything more than that. And it's funny how many talented softball players do struggle with that perfectionism, which helps them. It's their, their biggest strength and weakness at times. And then you look at your five newcomers,
Mhm.
and I want to talk a lot about Aubrey Worth and just what you expect to see her stepping into the circle. Obviously, you guys lose an ace like Courtney. I mean,
Yeah.
she's unreplaceable, but you can look at the strengths to the new faces that you guys have coming in, and her being one of them.
Yeah, so Courtney is an unbelievable athlete, and we still get to watch her compete, which is really exciting. But I do feel like this year, with the addition of Aubrey, our pitchers have had the space to really figure out what they're really good at and what their role is going to be in our staff. And we will pitch more as a staff this year than we did
Mhm.
last year. Um, Aubrey, I'm anticipating her carrying a good amount of innings for us, but she's going to go through some of those, I think, what we could call freshman moments where the moment might feel really big. So we're going to help her through that. She's also one who pays attention to a ton of detail, wants to get it perfect, but throws with high velocity, worked really hard on a changeup this fall, which we're really excited about for her. And she's excited. And then she's just, again, another like really high competitor who wants to win.
And I would say so much of the sport of softball is moving to pitching staffs.
Mhm.
And you guys have five arms this season. So there's a lot of puzzle pieces you could work with. How has that went into the training in the off season? Like, are you practice scrimmaging, having, a few people really focus on starting, other people coming and closing? How has that looked like for you guys?
Yeah, so for the last couple weeks, we've done a lot of live and scrimmage, and we have paired pitchers up together to see who's going to work better in the starting role, who's going to be better in the relief role, who's going to be able to carry more innings, or we're tracking all of our pitches, and at what point are we getting tired? When are we going to need to make that switch? And then having them just fully buy into what they are really good at, and even if
Mhm.
it's just two pitches, knowing that like I can ride and die on these two pitches, I can make them look different, I can throw them in different zones, and then giving them the confidence to do that was really important from the fall going into now a week away from playing.
I love that because I totally agree. If you have your bread and butter and you know how to locate it, your effective velocity, like there's so much damage that can be done to there. And there's just one other arm I really want to talk about, and Bree Godfrey, who had the second most innings last season to Courtney. And I read obviously with Softball America, I know they talked to you earlier, and you said that her speed has even improved. I would love to know what this offseason has been like for her.
So we got to a point in the fall where she was facing some challenges similar to what we faced later in the year last year. And her and I had a meeting in the office where we just kind of said, like, we're either going to make a complete change and revamp right now and see what we can get this season, or we're going to stay the course and continue to kind of do what we're doing with not really knowing if the results are going to change.
Mhm.
So Bree dove into the option of let's revamp, let's change my identity, let me change my wind up, understand timing a little bit better. And it has really taken off for her. Her swing and misses just against her own team has increased. Her ability to trust one pitch that I think is just so elite for her. That wasn't necessarily her favorite pitch of hers before. So it's taken some convincing. She's really just taken off. Her confidence is skyrocketed. And it was just revamping her windup to just work better for what her body wants to do.
And what a courageous decision by both her and
Yeah.
you, as somebody who's had success, to really kind of take a chance. And I think it's so important in this league and the time we live in with softball. There's so much film on pitchers, on hitters, that if you can come in and look any different, well, now everyone has to restart film on you. So that's so exciting for her.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for her too. And it really is a kudos to her because it was her decision. And she was like, I will do anything. I want to be good. I will do anything. And so the next day at practice, we started changing things.
And when you have players who buy in like that, that has to be the most rewarding thing as a coach. And I want to know, what is the narrative you want to start to tell around Maryland softball as you continue year after year, the more you get into this, to really implement your system and your beliefs here?
We are going to support each other as a unit. We've been talking about it from day one. We are going, like, we win together, we lose together, and we figure it out. And we keep riding, we keep swimming. There are a couple of things that we keep saying in practices. And we're trying to play the game extremely enthusiastically. And so not just playing because we have to be here and be out at the game. We're playing to beat our opponent. We're playing to win. We're playing to win at bats, win pitches, win innings. And we talk about that a lot at practice. And then outside of that, just being as gritty as possible.
Mhm. So the phrase is keep swimming. That's the phrase we're going to hear this year.
Right now, we need to dive in. So every day we start practice and we're like, dive in. Don't dip your toe in there. Don't worry about if the water's cold or hot. Just dive in and let's go for it.
I love it. We're going head first.
Yes. And then hopefully we can get to the keep swimming portion of that.
That's awesome. Well, as we kind of talk about who we're going to have joining us in just a second,
Yep.
I want to get just your perspective, being their coach. When you look at Sam and Mazie and what they have done for this program, I also want to know what it looks like on the day to day when you see them in the grind, in the work.
Yeah, they're both really special athletes, and we're fortunate enough to have gotten them back for a sixth year. And I think that's a really unique experience for a lot of athletes. They have an unbelievable understanding of their body, the way that it moves, the adjustments that need to be made. And they also have, I think, a better appreciation for moving on from challenges, failures, and understanding like we got this, we're good, and helping lead other people around them. Maisie is such a like focused, steadfast, even keel athlete who's just like, she knows what she's good at and she's trying to perfect that every single day. And that's what she comes to work to do. And then she goes and does her thing outside of it. And then Sam is like just super bubbly, energetic, fiery, and just a true leader behind the plate, and just somebody that like you're always going to hear her. She was that same way last year when she was injured. So even though she wasn't in game last year, she was making that same impact in the dugout. And so I think that has been really special. But just for the two of them to have a sixth year and to also be able to connect with our younger student athletes and help them through the process of all of the experience that they have, I think they're doing really special things for us, and they might not know it now, but they are certainly leaving a legacy here.
Oh, well, I can see them smiling in the waiting room. So I'm going to bring them on in just one second.
Good.
But Coach Karn, I can't thank you enough for taking the time with us here today. And I know I speak for everyone. We're so excited to have you in the Big Ten and to continue to watch you develop Maryland softball.
Well, we're excited to be here. We're excited to be in the Big Ten and be a part of the expansion, and we're excited for your coverage. So thank you again, Sydney.
Thank you. Good luck. Opening weekend around the corner. And here we go. Welcome, guys. I mean, that introduction by Coach Karn, I could see the smiles. I loved it. How has off season been? you go to year 2, obviously, with Coach Karn implementing, like she said, you guys are 6 years. You've been here, you've done it. I'm sure you're a little bit more sore than you were the previous years. But what has this off season been like compared to the others?
It's been good. Like last year, since they came later in the fall, that we didn't really have like the full year. So
Mhm.
like we didn't start, she calls it ground, Coach Carney calls it ground zero. And so like we were trying to get as much possibly done in January. And then this year we got to like get everything settled in the fall and that be like our hard, challenging season. And so now we're just uh like polishing the tires. Like we're just getting everything ready for season. And so like I feel a lot more prepared this year than previous years. And I don't know. The off season was really good this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think our team like came back with energy and like a passion for each other, and the work that we put in the fall is really already showing off at the start. And so we're just trying to stay together, have a good time doing it. We're feeling it a little bit, being a little bit older, but we definitely have like that young spirit still in us. So it's just hitting the ground running every single day.
Talk to me about what it went into the decision of coming back for a 6th year for both of you.
Um, well, because we were obviously freshmen in COVID, and I think you were too.
Yeah,
uh,
yes, COVID, COVID survivor. That's what I'll
yeah.
say in the softball world.
And so like my plan was always to like be a GA after and get my master's. And so I think it was just kind of a blessing in disguise. And then obviously both of us got injured and had to redshirt. And so like I think we're meant where we're supposed to be. And I honestly don't know what else I'd be doing right now. So it worked out.
Yeah, I think just the opportunity to continue our education too. Like we're both master students now. Has been really fortunate, and like she said, blessing in disguise. Never knew we were gonna be in this spot together, but like we are meant to be here, and I think it's paying off this year for us.
And just everything that you listed that you two have been through in your college career. I mean, COVID was a strange time for everybody. It kind of taught us that there was things bigger than, the yellow ball, which doesn't feel like that to us. But also, you both mentioned the redshirting, and anytime you're forced to really take a step back from just your sport that you love so much, you see it from a different lens. And how much do you feel like just your life experiences these past 5 seasons, now being able to take into your 6 years, just equipping you with so much knowledge, experience, and wisdom?
I think redshirting was like the best thing to happen because it made me realize like it's not that serious. Like we're still friends at the end. Like my performance doesn't define me. Like I'm just there to have fun and compete. And so like bringing that into last year and this year has really been a game changer because my previous years I'd beat myself up if I didn't go get hits and stuff. And so now just enjoying where I'm at and enjoying my friends and my teammates. Like that's where it's at, not my stats.
Yeah, I think for me, last year really opened my eyes to a new like perspective of the game. I had never kind of known that new support that I could bring to my teammates, especially from the other side of the field. And so I think like it opened up that communication for me, being able to be a better leader, talk to them more, appreciate the game a little bit more. And I think it's almost like we have a new sense for the game and a bigger appreciation for it. And of course, like I think it's kind of like a secret recipe, right? Like just having a new perspective to see the game, like nothing is as big as it is, like we are where our feet are at, and just being able to play this game with the people we love, doing the things we love, so it makes it a lot more enjoyable and we can find joy in a lot of things.
And I love that you guys talk about the little pieces that weren't even physical related. And when you just look at what you guys have done from a number perspective, I mean, Sam, you're returning behind the plate, and I mean, you're key in managing all of these new arms within the rotating pitching staff. I want to know what that's been like for you learning these 5 pitchers and how excited you are to be the one behind the dish as they rotate through and, as Coach said, piece together the staff.
Yeah, I think our staff is really special. I was fortunate enough to learn a lot of their arms last year, just being in the bullpen and taking a lot of hours back there and just really figuring out what I can do more to help them on the mound. And I think just moving into this year, the biggest thing has just been, okay, like how can I help them through tough times? Like we're a younger staff, like learning all the pieces, like just trying to do the little things right. And so if that's a communication piece for me or knowing when to take a timeout, we've really been feeling that out in the fall and early in these scrimmages. And I think just there's an appreciation for what each individual pitcher can bring, and they all bring different looks to each other, and they work really well off each other. And I think just having the experience behind the plate, it's my first year really catching behind the plate. So I'm just excited to get to work with them and help them in any way I can.
I love that. And for Mazie, I mean, again, you look at last year, you had the most total bases of returners last season. You hit 9 doubles, a triple, 5 home runs, how many RBIs. But I kind of loved as you talked about your experience and how that's led to almost like the mental side of the game and how you used to be really hard on yourself. Because I think that's true for a lot of great hitters, which is funny because if I read off your stats, you know, you're getting a hit, what, 350, which is still how many times failing. But how has learning that piece just allowed you to really blossom into the talented, dangerous hitting threat that you are?
I think just like relaxing my mind and like knowing that I have control of my body, and like I know it's just small changes like timing or my hips drifted a little, like it's just little things. And so just focusing on the overall picture and not trying to make big changes in my swing helps my mindset, because I'm not worried about like, oh, I need to make sure my stride's shorter and stuff. Like I'm just focused on hitting the ball. Like I know I put in the work. I know what I feel, and I think that's just like a roll off my back. Like I'll be fine after whatever happens. I know what I did as what I needed to do.
Absolutely. And for you guys who have been through so many softball seasons now, it's kind of fun because this one probably feels a little bit different than the other ones before, as we are adding so many new faces in the Big Ten. I know you guys have an opportunity to host UCLA, which is incredibly exciting. What has that conversation looked like amongst each other and just the rest of the team about these new opportunities for the conference?
I think it's fun because we already played. Like we played in the UCLA last year and we stuck right there with them. We played Oregon, we played Washington, and like we competed very well. And so just having that under our belt and now getting to play them at home is going to be really exciting, because they have to travel here instead of us having to travel there. And just the overall excitement that like we can compete with them is kind of like a calming factor, because it's not we don't have to make it as big as it seems.
Yeah, and then like Coach Karn set up a really great competitive schedule for us to start with, and we're traveling, so just be able to come home and play a big opponent like UCLA and really just go toe to toe with them and give them our best, right? So I think we're just excited to get back home and play it out.
And I love that you mentioned how you played them last season, because I think that's what so many people forget is even though they are entering the conference, they have a history with everybody who has already been in the conference. And now it's just exciting that you get to host them on your own field in your own home stadium. And for you guys who have already left an incredible legacy, if you were to leave today of Maryland softball, what are you thinking about in this upcoming season? Like, how do you want to leave this program?
Really just, I think we attack every single day, put our best foot forward, grab the bull by the horns, right, and run with it. But I know like for both of us, this is our last year, and so leaving the legacy behind of just knowing that we're making Maryland a better program, better for the kids to come in, and just the excitement to see what our team is going to be able to do and the joy that just playing with them brings us. So seeing how this year's going to go and just smiling through it all.
Yeah, I'm excited just to enjoy the journey and it'd be where my feet are. Like I'm really excited to go to all the places that we're going and play the teams we're playing, and it's a good start for adversity, and like we're going to face adversity in life, so might as well do it now and work towards our goals as a team, because we're also trying to stay together and not worry about who we're playing or what other people are saying. We're just focusing on ourselves and our teammates, so just enjoying each other and doing that will be wonderful this season.
You talk about the journey and just kind of together, and I noticed so blatantly the chemistry between you two in terms of just how long you guys have been teammates, the friendship. I mean, I love that you guys are just lounging together right now.
Well, we live with 7 other teammates. There's 8 of us that live in a house, and so we're the upstairs
softball house.
We're the softball house. Yep.
So we're upstairs roomies, and so Sam Bean, her room's a little bit small, and it's a little closet, and so she just has a couch in here.
Yeah, we're living.
And so we're always just hanging out, chilling. We all like our teammates come over and we build Legos. We're on our big Lego grinds.
Yeah,
and
we
so,
are. Mazie's
I-
actually the one that got the whole team on that. So
yeah.
I love that. And just to be able to have one house that everybody can come to, movie nights, Lego nights, everything has to be so special.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I
Except for
want to
when
know
something-
as we wrap up though, for you two, obviously now I know even roommates, which I love, even closer. What has it been like, or what has it meant to both of you to really go through this journey together?
It's been great. I told Sam, like, thank goodness you redshirted last year because I could not be the only sixth year here. But it's been so awesome to have someone like obviously the same age, since there is such a big age gap between like us and the freshmen and sophomores, to like rely on and we have the same mentality when it comes to softball and like physical activity. And so that's really fun, and I enjoy Sam a lot.
yeah, yeah, I know. Last year, I think coming in, I noticed immediately off the bat, like Maisie was one of the like farthest throwers. So I was just like, yep, she's gonna be my next throwing partner. And I think I kicked whoever out was throwing with her the day before. But just knowing that, it's amazing to have someone else that has that, really competitive and same like attention to detail mindset that we both share. And like whenever you're around Maisie, you're gonna get that much better just because she really has that respect for the game and it shows in everything that she's able to do. So no, it's been amazing to have someone here and to just like really give back to the game. So
Well, there is nothing like having a good throwing partner. And that relationship in itself is a marriage, I swear. You can't leave each other. Well, I can't thank you enough, Maisie and Sam, just for your time today. And I love seeing how you guys are with one another. But even now I want to invite to the softball house. I mean, it sounds like a fun time. When you break open the next Lego box, you can let me know.
Okay.
yeah, we'll send it out.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you guys. Enjoy every bit of the ride in your 6th year. So rare here, but such an incredible accomplishment.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you so much for having us.
And that was Maryland softball. And for everybody who's tuning in, you can stay on because we are going to be back in just a short little bit. We have 4 more teams left today. Every hour on the hour until 3 p.m. Central Time. So once again, we are so fortunate. We were joined by head coach of Maryland, and then once again by Sam Beam and Mazie MacFarland. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you back in just a short